Gifted people, we are gathered here today for what is this woman doing? For another story time. And from the title, me and my cousin got played by the same guy. Now I'm trying to think, how can I make this story time short? I'm gonna chop and change. Hopefully I can get my cousin's side on it. I've already thought of pseudonyms already for everybody. So for my cousin, I'm gonna call her Anne-Marie. For the guy, I'm gonna call him Kieran. And basically I was about 17 years old, and I met, remember High Five? Shout out to all the people that remember High Five. So I met him on High Five and we used to talk. He didn't slide into my DMs like that. We was like besties. We became besties. And I remember he was always talking about Anne-Marie and how she uses him for money and this, that and the third, and just, he used to say a lot of like negative stuff. And I just used to think to myself, like, why are you with a person that's cheating you so bad? That the best friendship that I had kind of started to turn into likeness for him. Even though he wasn't my type, but we used to talk so much that we moved from High Five to MSN. So he used to video call me, he used to webcam call me, and we used to talk, and his family knew me because they used to come in and help me up and whatnot. So we're gonna speed forward. So we've been besties for a year. Then he tells me that he's coming to London, and I was just like, woo, because he didn't live in the country. He lived like miles away, like 8 hours away by plane. So I was well excited. These times he confessed his likeness for me, I confessed my likeness for him, and I don't know, we just made it official. I can't remember, maybe he did ask me out, I can't remember that, but we became official because he told me that he's not with her anymore, yada yada yada. So, oh, look at that light. So he comes to London and he's like to me, he wants to see me, but obviously he doesn't know London. He was Anne-Marie was living in Barking. He told me, because I didn't want him to stay by his ex, but he told me that he's not by his ex. He's staying with his sister's, he's staying with his ex's sister because they've got a room and that's where his goddaughter is. So I was just like, okay, cool, whatever. Like, obviously I know he will bump into his ex, but it's not like that because he already confirmed to me that they're not like that. Like, they're just cordial, whatever. So I'm like, cool. The day that I was gonna see him, he told me, obviously he doesn't know London, first time in a Western world, big country. They live in Barking, I live in South London. That's a long drive as it is already, but they were taking public transport. So I said to him, it's okay. He was saying, can one of his ex's sisters drop him? So when I got to the train station, there was a little mini entourage. It was about 3 or 4 females, and I was just like, okay, like, wow. Coming for the journey. So I was just like, hi. They were like, hi, and I didn't know which one was his ex or anything, because I've never saw a picture, and I didn't think she would be there because he told me that his ex's sister was dropping him. So I came home and it was nice. It was nice to see somebody that you like, and your boyfriend and girlfriend, and it was like my first kind of like boyfriend. I know, it's sad, I was 17, but yeah. And my mum liked him. And you're probably thinking like, wow, your mum like letting you date somebody from the internet. But I guess because he used to talk to my mum on webcam, she was fine with it. Now, so we're gonna jump. We're gonna jump the story. So I think he was here for like 2 months. I can't even remember. I swear he was here for 2 months. I think it was longer than a month. I think it was 2 months. So we're gonna jump forward. So he wanted to come to my house, but he didn't know where I live. Pause. Now, I really hope Anne-Marie explains her side to this. So he was telling me that she came and took his passport and blah 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 and this, that and whatever. So this is all the things that he's telling me, and I'm thinking to myself like, okay, whatever. That why? Like, because I'm thinking like, what have you done why a female is acting like? Females don't act for no reason, do you get what I'm saying? Well, some of them do, but majority of us don't. You have to give us a reason to do something. Anyway, he said that they're good now, they're cordial, whatever. So he wanted to come to my house because he said he had something to give me. So my mum was just like, cool. Then he told me that his ex drop him to mine because there's nobody else that can drop him. So I was just like, yeah, that's fine, she can drop you. A lot of you's probably thinking like, what? And I'm like, well, she might as well stay because there's no point of, this is me, right? So I said to him, you might as well tell her she can stay, because by the time she goes back to barking and the time and whatever, it's like time to get you again, it's long. I said, if that's okay with you. And then he was just like, yeah. So they come to my house, and I was thinking, oh, this is the same girl that dropped him, that came with him to the train station. So when I was talking to her, my mum cooks, it was a Saturday, my mum cooked soup. My mum was like, it's a Caribbean tradition to cook soup on a Saturday. So I'm talking to her, we're all in the living room talking, bantering, whatever. And to me, it seemed like he was telling the truth, that she's his ex. Because when I was talking about him, she was talking about him like in past tense, like when I was saying, how did you meet? She like, they met at school. She didn't say like they were together, nothing, but I guess she was doing her own little mini investigation. So anyway, time passes by and I've got a clock on my wall that is my mum's island. So you know, us islanders, when you find out you're from the same country, you go, oh, where are you from? Do you know this person, that person's surname? Come out. Then I found out she's my cousin. So a girl that I didn't know is now my cousin. And so we exchanged numbers. I was getting dessert ready and he said that he'll come and help me. He'll wash the dishes while I'll get dessert ready. And I was thinking like, aww. You know them ones. So coming upstairs now, he drags me into my room and he started telling me how Anne-Marie's psychotic and she needs help and she's going to try and say that they're still together, but they're not. And I'm like, why is she going to say that? She hasn't even said anything. He was just like, you don't know her, she's mad, you know, she's got my passport, she was trying to cut out my clothes, and I was just like, okay. And then he didn't want me to leave the room. Now that's when I was thinking to myself, like, the guy literally tried to pin me down. I'm thinking, you're not gonna pin me down in my own room. Then I started thinking, like, is this guy alright? Like, is he a woman beater or something? How dare you pin me down in my house, on my bed? So for me to not leave the room. So then that made me think like, that what the hell is going on here? Like, what's really going on? So anyway, we started talking, messaging each other, you know, doing what cousins do. I was excited that I had a cousin, and she called me one time and she was just like, are you and Kieran together? So I said to her, yeah. And she was just like, oh, because we're still going out. So these times, obviously, I can hear Kieran's telling me, like, don't listen to her, she's mad. So I'm listening to that, but I'm also, my women intuition is coming through, like, no, she's telling the truth, believe her. And I'm like, oh. And she was just like, yeah, he told me that you're his best friend and how you lot went nursery and primary school together, and you moved to the UK and he hasn't seen you. So I'm thinking, this little beep. So obviously in her eyes, you meet my mum, and then like it's just like, yeah, like, you know, okay, but the dots probably wasn't connecting, because I think I was saying like, what school do you go to, and she asked me if I've visited there, and I was just like, no, I would love to go because I've heard like you lot's got beautiful beaches, so maybe she was thinking like, hold on, didn't you say that you was best friends from, and I moved to England? Now where it gets juicy is, obviously I was still thinking to myself like, shall I be wary of her, shall I not? So I had those two questions in my head, but at the same time I was thinking like, why would she lie? She told me something personal as well, which I won't disclose on here, and that made me feel like, from a woman to a woman, female, we weren't women at the time, but from female to female, I was just like, nah, she's telling me the truth. Like she's not lying, she's telling me the truth. And I can't believe it. And it was like a pre-warning for me. These times we were still together, but I was moving myself away from him. She's such a lovely person, she still is. Like, she'll give her last, she's so kind, do you know what I mean? Shout out to Anne-Marie, even though that's not her name, but shout out to her. She liked, shall I say, Chris Brown at the time. She had a craze for Chris Brown. I used to go Midnight Summer Madness because I used to be into basketball back then. The Chris Brown was going to be there. I got her tickets. It was a surprise. I told her to come to my house. She didn't know where she was going until like the day, and you know, just little things like that. And so we proper caught up, and she told me, do you know what, like, we're still together. She couldn't believe it. She was hurt. Like, you know, that was her first love, I believe. And he's telling big time lies. And I was just sitting there like, wow, you know, everything that he told me about her, like, and she's telling me stuff about him, and I'm just like, rah, I really can't believe this guy. So we're on our way to see Chris Brown, and he calls me, and I said, look, he's calling me. And I answer, and he's just like, you know, I love you, and saying the utmost, all of that stuff. And I wasn't saying anything back. And I said, oh, I'm coming back, I need to buy a pass. And so I was just like, call me back in 20 minutes. And he was like, cool. Then he starts calling her, and she's like, look. And I'm like, this guy had money, because this is international calling, yeah, on a mobile. So I was just like, you little. So I said, let's play a game with him. So anyway, we get to the venue. He calls again. I'm just like, why does he keep calling? You know what I mean? Like, this guy's doing the utmost, calling all the time. So I make her answer, and he puts the phone down. Then he calls her, and then I answer, and he puts the phone down. And then we play the likes, and then like a couple of minutes later, he calls me, and I answer, and he was just like, oh, what happened? I said, I don't know, what's wrong? He was just like, oh, nothing. It's like something strange going on. He was just like, maybe I'm dialing the wrong numbers or something. And I was just like, I don't know, maybe. So when we get home, we had such a lit time seeing Chris Brown. And when we got home, yeah, we was just like, when he calls you, I'll answer, and we're gonna talk. So we called, and we were just like, no, let's just, whoever he calls first, we're just gonna be like, hey. So he calls, I don't know which one of us he called, and we're like, hey, boo, blah blah blah. He put the phone down. He couldn't find out. Then he called me. He was like, "Oh, what strippiness you doing?" Da, 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 da. I said, "I thought you said that you're not with her. You're telling me you're not with her. You're telling her you're not with me. You're telling me that you ain't together. You're telling her that I'm your best friend. Like, well, what is going on?" And that right there is how I got played. It's how we got played. But this is my thing. I would say, like, always follow your intuition. Your intuition is never wrong. If your intuition is saying something, follow it. No matter what people may say, follow it. Like, a lot of people say, like, why would you invite his ex to your house? Well, look what I found out. I got a cousin for life as well. Be careful of family members, because his family, no offense to them, they're lovely people, but his family knew of me. Like, I sent him a photo of me and he had it up on his wall. Did they know that he was still going out with Amerie? And if they did, that is wrong. And you just, whenever you feel like you can't trust somebody and you ask them certain questions and things ain't adding up, you know, I've learned a lot. I'm happy that happened when I was younger, not now. But it was a lot. And, you know, my cousin was hurt in the process, but it's made her a better person. It's made me more vigilant. So like, share and subscribe, people.